Okay. What'd you do? 3, 2, 1. Welcome back.
Welcome. Recipes to die for. Die for. Sorry we look like Simon and Garfunkel today with our happening black turtlenecks.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
Watch out. All right, what do you have for us today?
On episode 2,
Welcome.
we've
been waiting for you.
We have been. We're gonna start making basic scones. I've never made them before, so it's gonna be great. Here we go.
Yes, it's gonna be awesome.
So we're gonna start off by mixing our, well, first of all, we diced up some butter pre-video and it's sitting in the freezer chilling. So now we're gonna mix our flour, salt, and baking powder. And then we're gonna add the butter and all the stuff.
Love it.
All the stuff, okay. And Kara is gonna tell us a scary story today.
That's right. Buckle up, people, because today we are talking about Alma Petty Gatlin. You ever heard of her?
No, never.
Well, you're about to.
All right, bring it on.
All right, so our story starts in 1927 in Reidsville, North Carolina, okay? So this is where we're at in 1927. Alma Petty right now is, yes, Alma Petty right now during that time is like 20, okay? So she, on Mother's Day, goes to church. They have their reverend there, Reverend Thomas F. Pardue, and he has this sermon all about confessing your sins, going through all of that stuff. And so that really affects her due to prior events. So he kind of notices once the church service is done that she's lingering, she seems a little bit uneasy, so he approaches her and just kind of starts. You're good.
A little sloppy.
That's okay. Sloppy eggs. Sloppy eggs. So he confronts her and just kind of chats with her, just kind of seeing if she'll go into sort of a confessional, see if he can help her or guide her through this. And the thing that got to her, I think, the most is...
Beat the eggs.
Beat those eggs, girl. You're gonna beat those eggs just like later on in the story. Just you wait. So, specifically, Pardue says to her, the thing that stands between you and the victory of your soul is the thing you need to confess to make right. So, that like sold her. She's like, I need to go confess my sins. That's some heavy flour. That's amazing. So she agreed to meet with her privately. And while she was in there, she's just like, you know what? I committed 2 of the biggest sins in the world. That's what he tells him. And I quote, 2 of the biggest sins in the world. And she asked if there is any forgiveness from him. And that's where I'm going to transition over. Sorry, you don't get to hear those big sins quite yet. So, what was said during that confessional, Reverend Pardue went and shared with the Rockingham County, because they're in Rockingham County in North Carolina. He went and shared with the law enforcement officials the confession of the woman, which technically this was not a Catholic one. So technically there are certain religions to where if it is of a certain degree, I guess they can, but it's obviously not really encouraged because as a spiritual figure, you are basically looked at to kind of keep yourself in check, you little gossip gilly. So anyways, he goes and talks to this guy named Carol, who was a cop, and he really doesn't seem to think anything of this. I mean, surprised, not surprised, though. He's kind of like, I don't really know if you're telling me the truth. Like, you really shouldn't even be telling me this anyways if it is. But yet, like, I don't know. So it's just kind of a weird, like, he didn't really seem super fazed by this interaction, so
That's
kind
weird.
of interesting.
That's super
Not
weird.
sure about
He's in cahoots.
in cahoots. So he said pretty much, I'll consult my superiors and we'll go from there. So
I've done that before. I'll talk to my manager about it.
yeah,
and then-
pretty much he pulled the let me talk to my manager and I will be in touch. So then Pardue actually went and employed his own detectives to kind of figure things out. And I'm like, this is getting like really involved, but I guess he must have felt,
These sins must be not great.
I mean, he must have felt pretty strongly about them. He even went to the governor and talked about the seriousness
This
of the
priest
crime.
is a gossip.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what religion it is. It's not Catholicism, so I'm not quite sure, but reverend of some type. So, anywho, he went and kind of got his own people going. And this kind of brings us to talk about Alma's upbringing. So she has...
Just dig through your kitchen quick.
Please do. So she has a brother, a mom, and she also has a dad. So we're going to focus on the dad a little bit more. His name is Smith T. Petty, and he's about 50 years old at this time. He was a cotton mill overseer. He's also a mean drunk. Take note.
Don't
Not-
be mean drunk.
You just don't be any of that. Don't be mean. Don't be drunk.
Yeah.
No one really likes either.
We're
So
here for life advice.
yeah, definitely don't do it together either. And he also abused his family, which is super not great, obviously. But this was kind of their home life. Like, it was very rough and tumble, like walking on eggshells, not super great. So that's just an introduction to Smith Petty. There's our frozen butter!
Here she is.
Our butter.
Don't worry, I'm gonna touch all the pieces.
We're safe. It's fine.
Good. It's
So this takes us now to 1927, and it must have been during like a winter month, or they had snow, because they didn't really list it. They didn't list it on my credible sources, hopefully. But it was 1927, and the dad was like in a bad mood. It was like cold weather. They were stuck inside all day. He had been basically with his moonshine all day. He just had his jar and he was, you know, living his life, drinking that moonshine. I mean, good for you, but yet not good for you, because we know who you are.
Yeah.
You're not a good man.
No.
So basically, he actually was getting into a fight with his wife, and he started to strangle her. And the kids, yes, I'm just gonna like glaze over that because it's really bad. But the kids intervened, luckily, and like got things situated out. And luckily, their dad was so drunk they just kind of like threw him back in his chair and was like, "Settle down,
Just
Dad,
sit there,
because
Dad."
we're over it." And this was just not good, because he straight up told Alma, "I'm gonna twist your head off like
Jeez.
a little bird."
just gonna
And
pop it right off.
so she went back and told her dad that she's gonna get him. So Alma coming in.
She's
Alma's-
coming back. Shouldn't have
Don't screw or play with Alma, because she's not having
Don't
it.
mess with Alma. I can't get this open.
Oh, can I help you? You got it all buttered up. This is the slickest milk canister I've ever felt in my
My bad.
It's literally like sliding across the table. Like I said,
Professional.
you come for the entertainment and the great recipes, not our professionalism.
We're professionals.
All right, back to the disaster. So, after she threatened her dad, shortly after midnight, Miss Alma went to the garage in their home and got an axe. She then went and took that axe and she put it behind the kitchen door, okay? Cogs are turning, emotions are rolling. This is where things get good. I like to say get good.
Get good.
Maybe borderline, sorry. And so then the next morning at about 7:30 in the morning, the dad comes into the kitchen, sits down for breakfast. The mom and the brother leave for the day. It's just Alma and the dad, okay?
I wouldn't want to be alone
The
with
dad's
Alma
not
right
thinking
now.
of anything. The dad's just still kind of crabby, not really apologizing for anything or acknowledging anything that happened the night before. Pretty much just was like, make me my breakfast, and that's what he's doing. But Alma has other plans, okay?
Okay.
So, as she served him breakfast, she served him specifically cold cereal and 2 fried eggs. I don't know. That's just his breakfast, I guess. But then he did something really wrong. Jean, you want to know what he did?
What did he do?
He criticized her cooking and said,
Don't criticize a woman's
This-
cooking.
Nope.
As I'm
She's-
flinging.
She's gonna, yep.
Can't get the butter out. Whisk's probably not the right choice for that.
And so,
Okay.
this is where things take a twist.
So we've taken our dough from the bowl and spread it out onto a pan. And you want to make it into a 3/4 inch tall, 4 inch wide log. And then you're going to cut it into triangles, you know, the shape of a scone.
Love it.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, while she does that, we're gonna get this party wrapped up. So, as her father's eating breakfast, she goes over to like the corner of the room because, you know, he criticized her breakfast, and she's like, last straw. I can't. I literally can't anymore. And actually, to be fair, she like told this preacher guy, the Reverend Pardue, that while she was in this confessional, she literally told him, I've been thinking about killing him for 2 years.
Premeditated.
Yes. And she's even had a pistol. She like acquired a pistol, but there was just never a right time to kill him. So,
There's never a right time
mind
to
you,
kill anybody.
today was
Don't do it.
the right day, I guess.
No, it wasn't.
So she, like with all of her might from behind, gave him a blow to the head with this axe, and her dad goes tumbling down to the ground, and he like rolled to the floor, and she kept hitting him, and he was like kind of in and out of consciousness at this point. I mean, who wouldn't be with what's happening? And he's like, Alma, why are you trying to kill me? And she literally like dragged him to the middle of the kitchen and started beating with him with a metal pipe. Like, where did this come from?
Where did
Like,
you find that?
So now she's doing that, and he was like still yelling and stuff, so she actually put her hand over his mouth.
Shut up.
And then he bit her hands, and she's like,
I would-
can't do that. And then as like he lay dying, like she just asked, like, do you believe in hell now? And then she said, I told you once that if I could see you die, I would spit in your face, is what she was saying to him. And then his last words to his daughter was, Alma, pray for me. So maybe he knew that he kind of deserved it. I don't know. I mean, murder's not okay, but he was not okay with what he was doing either, so it's not great. But once he was dead, so she murdered her father. There was one of her big sins.
What is up with these stories?
Confessed, and so she actually picked up his body and stuffed him into a large trunk, which she put in the closet. And so people kind of speculated whether or not she did it alone, because
He's probably heavy.
yeah, so speculate what you'd like.
Speculate.
And so then she like went around the house, was trying to clean up. She said there was blood everywhere, and she was just trying to keep it hush-hush, you know, because her mom and brother were gone. So she kept the body in the closet, got things cleaned up. So the body was in the closet for 2 days. But then evidence began seeping
What does that even mean?
through the flooring.
Okay.
Because at this time, rigor mortis was setting in. And so she actually dug, then when she was alone again, dug a 4-foot deep grave in the basement cellar. And dumped his body down there. And actually, just kidding. Rigor mortis set in when they unearthed his body. My bad. Please put that into this part. And so the body was like discovered by detectives, because people were like, okay, well, where's her father? And she was like, I don't know. Like, where
Try to
find him? And so, you know, she was taken in, and she was actually her own defense when she went to court. So they obviously speculated her as the murderer. And during this time, actually beforehand, her mother had passed. So Alma's mother, who was beaten by her dad, you know, she passed not too long after the father did, actually. And so she so wittingly to these like 800 people that were there that day just was like, actually, I wasn't telling the truth because I was covering for my mom. My mom actually did it. Yeah.
Liar!
So, yeah, I mean, conveniently, her mother had died between the time that her dad died and, you know, when she was arrested, because there was actually a good length in time, because his body was decomposing by the time people found him. Yeah. So basically, Alma just, I mean, said the night before he died was, like, terrible. My dad was drunk and, like, beating the whole family, which, I mean, that part was not a lie. But then she says that her mother actually grabbed an axe and was going to kill her father, but then her younger brother grabbed the axe away, but then, like, the mom took it back from her son and then ended up, like, hitting her husband in the head several times. So basically, she just said, like, hey, my mom did it, because her mom actually ended up with pneumonia and passed away that way. So it has nothing to do with the dad, because obviously he was deceased, but so that kind of worked out in her favor, and that's like what she claimed. And so basically that's why she's kind of getting away with it. So
what? She got away with it?
At the end of the trial, the jury pretty much said, well, yeah, like if her mom did it, and her brother even said, yeah, our mom did it. So they were kind of like...
Her brother agreed?
Yeah.
Was he there?
Yeah. Or he wasn't there for the murder, but he... So the brother probably didn't even really know either, except for in her story, she said that the brother had the axe and then the mom took it away. So they're probably
they're in cahoots!
Cahoots yet again. So anyways, she was actually acquitted. And it was just kind of said that her mom did it, and
she's still out there.
She is, even though it's from 1927.
Oh.
And she was 20 in 1927.
So she's probably not alive anymore. Never mind, just kidding.
Never mind. But yeah, it was quite a spectacle. Like when they found her dad, like there's actually somebody who wrote a book that's from that town, and so yeah, there's a book out there that talks, I kind of did like a breakfast theme since he died at breakfast, and that's like kind of what the book's about, so feel free to go and look it up. But that is Miss Alma Petty.
What a petty
There
bitch.
it is. Just kidding. I mean, she did what she felt like she had to do, but holy cow. Twists, turns, everything.
These are some ugly looking scones.
Well, now we're going to try our best. Here we go. All right.
Trying to see. Here's the finished. So here's the scone once it come out of the oven.
Woo! This is our first time.
I've never made scones before, so I don't know if they're right or they look right. It's not going well. Hot. It's good though.
That's good. Yeah! We did it.
Well, you did it.
I had to write a story.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Pretty proud of that.
All right. Well, scones and Alma Petty. Episode 2. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see your beautiful selves next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.